Hi guys. So as you know from my first infomercial, my year-long topic is about if people should be allowed to be armed on public property, and then more specifically if teachers should be allowed to carry guns on school property during school times. In my first infomercial, I was trying to present both sides of the argument without really giving my standpoint. I was just trying to give the pros and cons of both sides and both arguments of the debate, because I was just trying to give as much information to the audience as I could from both views. And at that time, I was already kind of leaning towards my opinion that teachers should not, and people in general, should not be able to carry guns on school property and on public property. But I was still trying to keep an open mind, kind of be neutral on the topic, because I was just trying to come up with which side would have the most information to back it up, but also still fit with my opinions and my morals and values. After a lot of research and about 7 factoids by now, I've decided that I am going to stick with that, and I'm going to argue in my year-long topic that I do think teachers should not be able to carry guns, and then also that people should not be able to be armed in public places and on public property. But in this infomercial, I'm arguing the opposite. So, people that are going against what I say and arguing the opposite are saying things such as, if teachers were allowed to carry guns, everybody would feel more safe. Which I can understand this viewpoint. I can understand this side of the argument because, all these teachers would have guns. Schools could potentially feel safer because teachers are armed, and there have been significant school shootings in the past few years, like the Sandy Hook Elementary Middle School, which is really tragic, and I think it hit close to home to a lot of people, and it really scared people into thinking that they need to use guns to fight guns. And I can understand this side of the argument. I truly can. That in case of an emergency, like a gunman coming into the school, these teachers have these guns to protect their students, and that I can see why that would be potentially a good idea. Also, another thing is that they'd have the right to defend themselves. Teachers would have the right to defend themselves and their class, and that's given by the Second Amendment of our Constitution, which is another really big point that people are arguing. They're saying that it's actually unconstitutional for people to say, and laws to be put in place that say you can't carry guns in certain places, because it is your Second Amendment right, that you have the right to bear arms and you have the right to carry a gun. So that's another reason. Another reason is you're less likely to have gunmen come to schools to do these mass shootings for no really apparent reason, because they're already aware that there's going to be many guns. All these teachers and staff members of these schools are going to have guns, and going there to shoot people would just be just a suicide attempt. I mean, really, there's no way they could get out of it if all these people are already having guns. Another reason is that, which was a big point, this next one is a really big point that I personally, it's going to be hard to argue for me, I already know, and that is that parents and guardians already trust teachers in general. They trust that their kids are going to be protected when they send them off to school already. I mean, they have to trust that teachers aren't going to just go crazy and bring a gun to school and start shooting their kids. I mean, that's not been heard of. They already trust their teachers to keep their kids safe during the day, and even after school sometimes in extracurricular activities, they trust these teachers and coaches to protect their students, and that's without guns already. And what's to say that just with guns wouldn't add just that much more protection? Another point was there's not enough police to cover all the schools. So if there is such a case as a gunman or another emergency, there's not enough police to come and help them when they need it. And the last reason that I have on here for my factoids is that currently there are several states such as Arkansas, Texas, Massachusetts, Hawaii, and New Hampshire that already allow guns on school properties and campuses and in other public places, and that's been really good for them. These laws are still new and they haven't been intact for very long, but they've been really good and they haven't had any incidents yet. So those are some points that I'm going to be arguing against. So good luck for me.